We'll begin the World War II unit with an unusual question. Who were the good guys, the Axis or the Allies? The two standards we'll use to address this question are total non-military deaths and total land occupation. Let's start by looking at two major Axis powers, Germany and Japan. Hitler's death total, meaning the number of non-military people estimated to have been killed because of Hitler, was 20.9 million. Japan's Hideki Tojo's death toll was 5.9 million people. Now let's consider the two major Allied powers, the USSR and China. Stalin's, the dictator of the USSR, his death total, again, meaning the number of non-military people estimated to have been killed because of Stalin, was 42.7 million. And China's Chiang Kai-shek's death toll was 10.2 million. That means the Axis non-military death total is 26.9 million people, whereas the Allied non-military death total is 52.8 million people. Next, let's look at territorial acquisition when considering who the good guys are. First, the main Axis power, Germany. At Germany's peak of success, the Axis controlled about half of Europe, or 3.3% of the Earth's surface. Prior to World War II, the British, an Allied power, had already conquered and controlled 22% of the Earth's land surface. The Russians, another Allied power, had already conquered 16% of the Earth's land surface. Now, how did Russia and Britain get so much land? Did they ask nicely? Did the occupants of all the land that became part of their empires freely, willingly hand it over? Did they say, yeah, we don't want to govern ourselves? Come on over. You take us over, you govern us. Of course not. It was taken by force, which means the use of violence, death, destruction. Now we could go on to discuss the difference between having an England or a Germany as your occupier. For instance, had Hitler taken over India instead of England, Gandhi's strategy of nonviolent civil disobedience to achieve independence for India certainly would not have worked. Hitler would have made Gandhi a lampshade, literally. That's right, the Nazis actually used the skin of Jewish people to make lampshades. What's to say he would not have done the same had he been the occupier of India? Thus, the fundamental worldview differences could also be explored to determine who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. But that would be too great of a tangent. The purpose of this exercise is to show that things are not always so clear. War is messy. Who one allies with can be questionable. Stalin, for example, was an ally of the United States. He imposed a famine, a man-made famine on the people of the Ukraine from 1932 to 1933, killing millions. The man was evil, just as evil, if not more so, than Hitler. And yet the United States government became its ally. Why? Circumstances? The enemy of my enemy is my friend? These are difficult situations. Clearly, the fundamental beliefs of the USSR, at least those who are ruling, contradict those of Americans. These differences help to account for what happens after World War II between the United States and the USSR. Finally, check out this map. Does it even look like the Axis powers has a chance, even if the US does not join? In our next video, we will look at the causes of World War II. Until then, see you later.